So let me get this one going. What is going on, everybody? We got the TikTok live right here, answering questions, Amazon Q&A as always, talking about wholesale, private label, arbitrage, all the different businesses. But as I was explaining to the TikTok chat, I was very fixated on wanting to be the boss of the company. And I don't feel like you're really the boss of a company if you're reselling other companies' products. I kind of want to show something on the live that's a little funny, but we'll circle back to it. I want to answer everyone's questions, not leave some of y'all hanging, and then I'll show it. Show you guys how fixated I was on the word CEO. I'm currently doing RA. What are good ways to get ungated? Amazon's going to tell you exactly how to get ungated, everybody. You just follow exactly what they tell you to do. They're going to say how many units you need, the invoice that you have to provide within 180 days. Some brands take 10 units, some brands take 100 units. Amazon is cracking down on, wholesale and arbitrage sellers. That's why you guys hear so many people get hit with Section 3. Section 3 is not something that you really deal with when you're doing Amazon private label. I got 10K to start up. Should I start selling name brand products or wholesale from a manufacturer? You should do the business model that interests you the most, user 01. I think creating a brand, your own brand, is far more fruitful than any other business model on Amazon. And it's funny because we just got started in the live, but usually we'll get like some longtime viewers or some reoccurring viewers or some of my students who come up into the live too. A lot of them started with arbitrage and wholesale. And anybody who's gotten experience in that realm always ends up saying that private label is better. The only people who do wholesale and arbitrage who will not say that the private label is better than it are the people who are trying to teach you guys arbitrage and wholesale. Started in June looking for my first wholesale account. Nice, Shine. What to start selling for beginners? Products with good market numbers. Guys, nobody's going to tell you, and I know so many people want this answer and it probably turns off a lot of people. Nobody's going to tell you what to sell on Amazon. That goes for all the business models. Excuse my pink little straw here. But yeah, nobody's going to tell you the products that you should go launch on Amazon. Not even the wholesale and arbitrage crowd. Like the people who do the lead lists and stuff, I think that's honestly like a load of garbage. Because with wholesale and arbitrage, sorry, real quick, everybody's selling on the same exact listing. If you're selling on the same exact listing, why would you give somebody else a product to go launch on Amazon? It actually makes zero sense. You're competing for the same buy box. You're competing for the same customers. With private label, at least we all have our own listing. We have our own brand. We can do differentiators. My listing can be different than somebody else's. My product can be different than somebody else's. So just keep that in mind whenever you see somebody with like a lead list, somebody who's trying to like make a video about here's a good product to sell on Amazon. In fact, if you guys notice, even just this week, pull up my TikTok. What was it? Was it yesterday? 2 days ago, I posted a video, what a good product market looks like on Amazon. Every single one of my videos that I make like that, at the end, I tell you, by the way, it's not a product that I would actually go launch for XYZ reason. Hey, sorry, it skipped me to the bottom of the chat, but one of my students up in here, my guy, Kevin, I need to pin this comment really quickly. I love that, Kevin. Kevin, it's been a minute since you've messaged me, bro. Send me a message and let me know how that's going. Absolutely love that, brother. And wishing you Godspeed on your journey. Definitely give me an update via messages on how everything's rolling for you, bro. To be honest, I have to check. I literally don't even remember what product I gave you because it's been a minute since we've talked. Let's look really quickly. Obviously, I'm not going to say it on the live. Hey, okay, yeah. That is a great product, bro. I'm glad that it's working. I definitely saw a lot of potential in that market. If Kevin sends me a screenshot, I'll make a video, everybody. I always make videos of my student results. Obviously, I don't share anyone's products. Looking to get into FBA, what do you I already answered that. That's way up there. Lost, good to see you. Thank you for sharing the live. How much money do you need to start anything? Are you in the USA? Yes, I'm in the USA. I'd say 3K USD. Will, thank you for the follow. User01, thank you both so much for the follow. Appreciate you. I'm glad I came to the right channel. Any tips on how to start? Yes, sir. A lot of tips. I mean, I don't know if you were in the live when I was first talking about this, Will, but I'm not saying you, so don't worry. But I think a lot of people, when they ask that, again, not saying you, want like this flashy answer. I was talking about how people almost think, and again, I know I've said this 3 times. I'm going to say it one more time. Sorry, not you. I'm speaking for like, I just see it a lot when people ask this. But they think that like these people like me who sell products on Amazon and make content about Amazon, that we have this one little gem that's going to take somebody from zero to $100,000 a month, but that's not the case. Amazon is essentially kind of boring. Do good product research, do market and product development, find manufacturers, make sure that your numbers are good, launch the product, have a good launch strategy. It's a very systematic approach. So any tips on how to start? Number 1 is get started, bro. If you're really interested, like I can give you guys, I have free videos on how to start on my TikTok, all of that. I can give you guys the exact framework and plan on what to do when you're starting. At some point, you're going to know exactly what you need to do, and you just have to take action. How you feel about a clothing line? Not a fan of clothing, bro. Not a fan of clothing at all. I actually used to operate a 6-figure clothing brand. I specifically did not launch that brand on Amazon. So the brand itself was on Amazon, but the clothing line was not on Amazon. That was exclusively on Shopify. We sold like some of my actually failed products, which I don't mind sharing the failed products, were under the same umbrella as that brand. So I had like lifting wrist wraps, sold those on Amazon. That was a flop. Booty bands, so like those fabric resistant bands, those were under that brand as well. Those did really well during 2020 when like gyms and stuff like that were closed. But that was mainly the hype around like home workout stuff. And then as that trend started to go down, the products started to not do as well. Clothing I don't like on Amazon because you have people who are selling like 6-pack of leggings, good quality, nice quality for $20, and you might only be able to sell 1 pair of leggings for like $20 for your margins to be good. Number 1. Number 2, so many variations to be that are reliant, or your revenue is reliant on having so many variations, which I don't like that. I don't have any issue with variations on Amazon. We have products with variations meaning like maybe you have a blue, white, green, whatever set. But when it's reliant on making a certain revenue, that's not good. And then also clothing has one of the highest return rates, if not like top 3 highest return rates on Amazon. I saw a video saying if you're Canadian, make your account in the US. Yes, I think that no matter what country you live in, Amazon allows over 130 countries in the world to sell in the US market. Doesn't matter what country you're in, you should be selling in the US market. What kinds of items are you talking about when you say private label? Like creating your own brands run. So your own water bottle product, your own battery charger, your own, and none of these are products I would sell. I'm just giving examples. I don't just give out products for free. Your own shelf, right? But you're not selling somebody else's products. It's your product. Sorry, sometimes I lose my place and have to find my place. My dad's account got suspended in Amazon once an invoice for the product we sold 2 years ago. What business model are you doing, Sultan? Did you start private label, or are you saying OA and wholesale manufacturer is a good way to go? I started with private label. I don't believe that people should start with other business models and then move on to private label. I just don't think that that's the move. It's not a graduation. It's not like a go from here to here to here. You just do the business model that you want to do on Amazon. Mohan, thank you so much for the follow. Kevin, thank you for sharing the live. Bro, I'm making sales and my inventory is still not arriving for 2 more weeks. I love it. I love it. I'm going to pin this comment one more time, Kevin, just because I absolutely love it. Kevin, one of the AMZ Masterclass students. That's dope, Kevin. Keep it going. How much capital do you need to do the private label route? $3K USD. But that's also for everything, like your cost of goods, your shipping, potentially your samples, your product inspection. My bad, bro. I've unfortunately had some life stuff happen, but I've been keeping at it, and it's been a great product. Awesome, bro. God's plan, and I hope that everything is good on the back end of life stuff. Is 5K enough for a clothing private label brand? I would not start a clothing brand, but yes, it is enough. I would not start a clothing brand, bro. Clothing, I think people think is such like a low barrier to entry. I have a buddy who owned 2 very successful, like more successful than the clothing brand I ever created, companies. And he sold one of them recently because he's trying to get out of the clothing game. He even says, and he has 7-figure clothing brands. He had 2 7-figure clothing brands. Now he only has 1. But he's trying to get out of that game because he just sees, like, even when you're at his level, which was levels above where I was at with clothes, it's just not the business. What up, Leaf? Oh my goodness, that was a wild comment. I'm not even going to read that. Do you mentor? Yes. Hey, my guy Kevin said, yes, he's the best. Appreciate you, bro. Want to order products. How do I upload the invoice? Amazon will ask you for the invoice when you try to upload it. Is 30% profit margin good? Yes, it is. Free, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. How many products did you have? I started with 1. Right now, I have 50 plus products. Not on this account. This is just one of many accounts that I operate. I have 4 7-figure Amazon accounts and then 1 brand new Amazon account. What up, Drew? Do you do private label? I do, my friend. My construction business making 35 to 40% margins. Are the margins bigger on private label? That's actually wild that you do that high of margins on construction EMC. Like, I'm not saying that that's a compliment, because I know that the average margins on construction, unless you do it a little bit different, I know that it's not a one size fits all, but average margins in construction are like sub 8%. So good for you. We run about a 40% profit margin. I would say for private label, like 30% is standard. I knew nothing when I joined. Luke makes it easy. I appreciate you, bro, for real. How do I get you to be my mentor? Jameer, thank you so much for the follow. Y'all can go into the TikTok bio, the mentorship site, and then apply there. Hop on a call with my onboarding team. CD, thank you for the follow. Appreciate everybody who is in the live asking questions. How to start selling on Amazon. Step 1, create an Amazon seller account. Step 2, get a product research software and find a potential product to sell. But the biggest step is taking action. That's going to be today's theme for the live. There's so many people there's so many action takers. So I don't want to put everybody in the box. I especially, like, there's people in this live, like we have Tor, we have Drew, we have Kevin. I know a lot of people take action, but there's so many people who will pop into my lives. I'll give them the exact steps on how to get started. They'll think that they're learning. So they think that they're doing something productive, but learning is only going to take you so far. until you actually start taking action. It's like if I read a bunch of books on how to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm reading, I think that I'm learning Jiu-Jitsu, but then I go onto the mat with a white belt, the most basic level, and they would smoke me. They would make me tap. So you actually have to start taking action. You have to start practicing. You have to put in the reps. That is the reps as in looking for potential products to sell. That is understanding how to do product research, how to analyze product markets, all of those different things. Would you recommend looking for a certain product in retail price around 20 to 30? No, 20 is too low. 30 is the minimum. My sweet spot is like 30 to 60. Yazo, thank you for the follow. They'd make you tap. You're acting like I'd let that happen, bro. That's funny. But you know what I'm saying. I know you're just trolling, Kevin. But yeah, you actually have to put in the reps. You are not your thoughts. You are what you do. 100%. One of my buddies said this at a conference that I was speaking at for Amazon a while back. And I really loved it. So I'd say it all the time. And Tor, congratulations, brother. That's amazing. I absolutely love that for you. Remind me again how many reviews you're at. But yeah, so one of my buddies was saying this concept of like, so many people want to read about all these things. They feel like they're being productive, reading all these business books. And I'm a big fan of reading. So continue to read. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you're going on TikTok for 2 hours looking at Amazon content, and you think that you're working, but you're really trapped in this cycle of mental master. I'm not going to say the rest of the word. And that's not doing anything for you. You're like learning, thinking that you're working, but that becomes a trap. At some point, you have to shift that learning into action. That's what's going to move the ball for you. That's what's going to get you to the dance. How could you help a newbie that has no idea, and how much money do I have to start? I'll answer the first question or the second question first. I'd say 3K USD minimum. And then let me pin this comment for you, Said. Let me find it first. Look at this. This is one of my students, Kevin. I knew nothing about Amazon when I joined. Luke made it easy. If you wanted to actually have me as your mentor, I would help teach you all of the steps. I also have a lot of content. I do these lives answering everybody's question. If y'all have been in here, I go literally line by line answering every single question in the live. Inventory is nearly at the fulfillment centers. Let's go, Jay. Jay, another AMZ Masterclass student up in here. 13 5-star reviews. That's awesome, bro. Get it to 30, Tor. Get it to 35-star reviews and just see how it starts to evolve your results. I've got 3 ASINs live right now, seasonal, scouting out a 4th and 5th that isn't seasonal. I think that's a good move, Drew. You don't have to say if you don't want to, but what season does it revolve around? Like summer, Christmas, fall? Can register an American business as a Canadian to start? Yes. You can also start with a Canadian business in the US as well. Like Jay, the student that I just said is in here. He's from Canada. He has a YT channel with a lot of info too. Yes, sir. And a TikTok with lots of videos. Just today so far I've posted. This month, let's see. It's the 28th. Hold on. So it's the 28th. I've posted 4 videos a day. Well, technically 3 today, but I'll post another one later. Just this month, I've posted 112 videos on just my business page. I actually go wild on the content, y'all. I post 4 videos a day on my business TikTok. I post 1 video a day on my travel channel. I post 1 long form YT video a week. I post like 4 to 5 YT shorts every day, and I post like 3 to 5 IG reels every single day. I even post on LinkedIn. You want to talk about taking action? What is that? That's like 15 pieces of content every single day. Just enrolled 10 units for Vine, but not sure if that will be 5-star or not. Do you allegedly have access to people who would be willing to support your business that you allegedly know? I just seen your San Diego video on my FYP. Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I've been posting more on the travel channel. For those who are new, I have another TikTok, Luke Basha Travels. I only have 2 TikToks. You might get some fake messages from people pretending to be me. I will never message you. But yeah, so Luke Basha Travels, and I was always like conflicted of whether I post travel content here to show people like my lifestyle stuff, or if I just leave it to that page. But I decided to just leave it to that page, and people who are interested in travel, they can see that. People who are interested in business will see this kind of stuff. What apps do you recommend using Helium 10 or Keepa? For private label, Helium 10. I'm positioned well to crush it within it next year with 2 of them. I'm not going to continue the third ASIN. Nice, Drew. That's awesome. Hopefully you're not sitting on too much inventory. I think that's the trickiest part with seasonal products, but it's good that you're looking for a 4th and 5th product that are not seasonal. I'm from New Zealand. Hey, New Zealand in the house. I didn't know that, Tor. New Zealand is out of the 20 plus countries that I visited, New Zealand is in my top 3. I absolutely fell in love with New Zealand. If I ever moved out of the US, which at some point I do think that I will, not because I love the US, but I do think that I'll just go live in another country for a bit, it would be New Zealand, because I can get my Australian citizenship, and as you know, I can go live in New Zealand with my Australian citizenship. But New Zealand in the house, I love it. My ACOS is 1.3. ACOS is in percentage. So are you saying that your ACOS is 1.3%? Saeed, thank you so much for the follow. Can you explain why you prefer Helium 10 for private label over Keepa? Number 1, Keepa is mainly for arbitrage and wholesale. Helium 10 is geared towards private label. So they're just completely different. And then the tools that Helium 10 has is way better for product research, keyword research, all that good stuff when you're doing private label. ZK, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Just followed you in Florida, and yes, I want to get started. Can we have a phone conversation? So I only get on calls with my students, Saeed. You can ask any question in this live, and I am more than happy to answer that question. I don't gatekeep anything, but in terms of like having direct access to me, being able to message me questions, and then being able to get on like a one-on-one call with me, that's exclusive for my AMZ Masterclass students. Y'all can apply for the program in the TikTok bio. So TikTok bio, AMZ Masterclass site, you'd be able to see all of that stuff, all of the info and stuff on there. And you can hop on a call with my onboarding coach. You would speak to him first. And if you qualify for the program, he'll explain all the information. And then once you actually join, that's when you'll have unlocked that access to me. Hello, I want to get most trending product from your Amazon store as I'm an eBay seller. I don't share products from my Amazon stores. I don't tell people the products that I sell, and I don't allow resellers for our products. What city would you move in? To be honest, bro, unfortunately, I was only in New Zealand for a little over a week. So we were in Auckland, and then we went to Waiheke Island, which I also fell in love with that. I definitely need to go back to New Zealand and see the rest of it. We also went to, I don't remember what city or town or whatever it was called, but the one that Hobbiton is in, that was really beautiful. I'm not really a city boy. Like I'm an island. Pause. I don't want to say that. I like islands. That's more my vibe. But I really did fall in love with Auckland. I think that there's probably other super beautiful parts of New Zealand, so I do have to check it out. But I also like for having like a family and like medical stuff. Like I would want the infrastructure. That's why I really did like Auckland. To be honest with you, I would move to Waiheke Island. That's like a little best of both worlds. How can I make my PPC campaign stay on all along? I'm paying 45 daily budget and it goes out of stock. Increase your budget. Amazing, thanks. I have to go, but next live I'll tune in. I love it. Appreciate you tuning in. Yes, I don't allow resellers, bro. Upgrading the individual account to business, when is it easy to do? Yeah, it's just like a flick of a button. Hey, Luke, how long does it take on average for students to make 2K a month? It ranges, Georgios, because I can't put like a blanket answer on that. It's almost like results may vary. I have to, like, that's a disclaimer. Some students can get it in a month, some students in 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it really depends on the product, how well they optimize their approach. Because just because and you've heard me say this, Georgios, just because I give somebody the keys to the castle doesn't mean they're going to unlock it or use the key. So it really just depends. And then there's a lot of factors and variables outside of actually just being in the program that are going to play into how much somebody makes and how quick they make it. Mara Mara, is that what it's called? Yeah, that place was really beautiful. But yeah, I did really like Auckland, Island Boy. LOL. Yeah, that's what I was about to say, but I was like, pause. Can you share best product hunting tool? Helium 10. Yo, lend me some money. I'm not the Bank of America, brother. My budget is like 40 and usually make like 60 in sales. That means you're probably not profitable on your PPC, Gustavo. I mean, if you do, especially if you're not making organic sales. So 40 divided by 60, you're running at, I'd assume, like a 60% tacos. When you said 1.3, I would imagine you were talking about your ROAS, your return on ad spend. Got to get that conversion up, bro. You got to get your organic rank and your conversion up. How much did you invest before making profit? 4,900 was the very first, was how much I launched my very first product with, and I was profitable on that very first product. On your lives, can you teach setting up PPC? Unfortunately, it's a little bit hard to, because like on my TikTok videos, I can, but on the lives, there's too many things that show my brand name and our account ID and my products, and then it'll show keywords. Like for me to actually do it on live, there's not any tools that I can use to like blur this stuff out. At least when I make videos, I can, hide certain things, zoom in on certain things, but on live, that's the one thing that we can't do. How to get my conversion up? I launched a week ago, got 4 reviews. First thing I would focus on, Gustavo, is getting those reviews up. I don't even run PPC ads until I have like 10 to 15 reviews. So starting with 4, it's good that you're starting to get sales and some data, but you got to get those reviews up. How many ASINs are you selling to achieve that 3.7, and how long did it take you to get there? On this account, it's 9 products, including variations, and this account is 5 years old. Have you ever seen a student do the right things, but it still took 3+ launches? Not 3+, no. I've seen students who did the right things and their first product didn't really perform well. And then some of those students went and launched a second product and they crushed. I've had students on their very first launch. I've actually had quite a few students on their very first launch do really well. But I would say that, like, again, because the program doesn't guarantee success. I guarantee that you're going to learn all of the steps that you need to know about selling on Amazon. But I would say the people who I've seen flop the absolute hardest, even if they were in the program, just didn't follow anything that was said. Like I had a student who launched a product, didn't differentiate the product, even though like in 10 different places in the program, I'm like, you have to differentiate, you have to stand out. Don't click copy paste on what other people are doing. They didn't differentiate a product. You guys on my live hear me say, you need to get 10 to 15 reviews before you start running PPC. That student started PPC before they even got any reviews. They racked up like $600+ in ad spend and were not converting. They were like, hey, Luke, what do I do? Hopped on a call with them, gave them the exact strategy on what they should do. I get a message a few weeks later. They're like, Luke, I've spent like $6,000 on PPC. What do I do? I was like, did you do anything that we talked about on the call? They were like, no, I just kept spending money on PPC. It's like, at that point, what do I do? That's why I always say I can give somebody the keys to the castle, but it does not mean that they're going to unlock it. Now, fortunately, most of my students are G's. So that's more of an anomaly. That's not like the standard of what happens, but it does happen. Rarely. I'd say that's like less than 1%. What do you think of the honeymoon period? I don't focus on it. It's literally like a non-factor to me. Too many. I think that it was like a healthier discussion with the honeymoon period back when like there was less people talking online about Amazon, but nowadays people put like too much emphasis on it. I honestly could care less. If I have a good product, I'll make it work, honeymoon period or no honeymoon period. Also, where people get this like wrong is they think that like, if I miss the honeymoon period, then I'm not going to have a good product launch. If you have to rely on Amazon giving you like an unsaid external boost, and then when that boost is gone, you don't have a good product, then you just don't have a good product or a good launch strategy. Like there's a few people who are reoccurring watchers of a lot of the lives, and they've literally seen it play out where somebody comes in. Actually, great example. And this one is not even that bad, like not bad at all. But like, let me show you this. I'm just going to pin it. I don't mean to like pick on this comment or anything like that, because respect. But so many people are like the honeymoon period. But then you go launch with barely any reviews. Yes, this is within 1 week of launching. That's in the honeymoon period, but not profitable on ads because conversion matters more than anything. I actually wish that more people who sold on Amazon and make content about Amazon talked about conversion. That's probably one of the things that I see the least with creators / sellers is talking about conversion. Meanwhile, it is quite literally the most important metric. Like I just watched a video and I'm going to make a stitch to that video. Maybe I'll even post it today. I don't think I can look it up on my computer. Actually, let me see. I think I know his username. Oh, look at that. Oh, nope, that's not the right one. All right. Anyways, I saw a video today talking about it's so hard to find a good product to sell on Amazon. And then he goes on to talk about like Amazon takes your margins on PPC ads and this and this and this. But what they fail to talk about is like conversion, talking about, hey, what did I do to try to optimize my conversion? How many optimizations did I make to my listing? How many times did I try to push for more reviews on my listing? Like that's just not something talked about. And I'm not saying this person, because the person who made that video, and I'm going to stitch their video, I actually think they're really cool. I think they're a hustler. They're in the live sometimes. They're not one of my students. They're in a different program. But too often people want to, and not this person. Too often people want to blame like Amazon PPC ads are taking all of my money. Amazon doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. But then they fail to mention like all the things that they didn't do to try to make that product work or to optimize being improve. Account health is exactly what it's called, is your account health. Like if you have missed shipments, your account health goes down. Or if you maintain a good account health, that means that your shipments are coming in on time, you're putting in tracking IDs, like you don't have any issues with your account. What are the best niches you recommend? It's easier for me to say the niches that I don't recommend, and that would be electronic products, fragile items, clothing, shoes, topicals, and consumables. Everything else for me is, oh, and seasonal items. Everything else for me is pretty much fair game. Trying to find this honeymoon period coming from Alaska. It's funny. I have a unique product idea. I need manufactured, mostly molded plastic. Do you have experience finding a manufacturer? Yes, I do. I don't love getting molds created on things that you don't have proof of concept on. Drew, maybe for you it's a little different because you at least have the experience and this isn't your first product launch. So I don't think it's the worst idea for you. Just keep in mind it's going to cost you a good amount of money when you are launching that. Just because getting a custom mold created, they can get expensive. No, they're electronic products. I wouldn't sell those. Do you sell your products anywhere else other than Amazon? Yes. I never flex it to anybody, but this is just Amazon sales. That doesn't include TikTok Shop or Shopify. These products are not on Walmart online, but on other accounts, we do sell on Walmart online. I don't like Walmart. I always have to say that every time I bring it up. Why don't you sell electronics? They have one of the highest return rates on Amazon. I don't want to deal with a product that is inherently has a high return rate built in to that type of product. So those are not for me. How do you get products to sell? I do product research on like a product research software like Helium 10. And then I have a very strict product criteria that I use, pretty much like product guidelines. And if a product meets that criteria, then I go for it. How would you go about getting proof of concept before making a mold? 3D printed samples, focus groups? Probably focus groups is going to be your best bet. Can there be exceptions to your not recommended products if you like it also? You shouldn't ever sell products that you like, Georgios. You should sell products that do well. What are requirements to have TikTok Shop for no non-American residents? That one I do not know. That is one of the few things, because we do good on TikTok Shop, but like I have not seen a workaround of being on TikTok Shop. I mean, if you like, not me. Same thing, Georgios. I've learned through my experience, if I'm understanding your question correctly, I've learned from experience not to launch products that I like. I learned that very early on. Some of the best products that I have on my platform, like on this account, even if I wanted to, I couldn't use the products. They are not for men. I don't care if I like a product. I want a product that performs well, that I can make sales on. A lot of my most successful products are products that I just wouldn't ever use. I don't necessarily feel, I'm passionate about the business. I don't need to be passionate about what I launch. Now, the only time that this actually worked in my favor, not only time, but on the very first product that I launched on Amazon, I was very passionate about that product. That product did very well, but it was almost like the stars aligned. It just so happens that it was a good market to launch in. And I use that product every day. It was very, very fun to promote that product. I would, get, I don't want to say models, because it wasn't like famous models. They were just people that I knew who I had model the product. What do you mean by that, Peanut or Pin? But yeah, so I was doing photo shoots for that product. We were doing video shoots for that product. I was hustling that product on social media. That was by far my favorite product launch that I ever had. What do you mean we shouldn't be Amazon sellers? This is private label con, the best business model on Amazon. How would you? Oh, I answered that. What are the requirements? I answered that. Is it true you have to have a lot of money to start? 3K USD. It's not what you hear online where you need like 10, 15, $20,000 to start. I haven't ever launched a product for close to that. Actually, that's not true. I did launch a product in 2023 that I spent $8,000 on. That was my most expensive product launch ever. And that was for reasons that I would never recommend a beginner to go that much in. We ordered 500 units, which goes against everything that I talk about. But that product did well. Nice, Con. Congratulations, brother. That's amazing. Is most of the capital devoted to stock? Yes. So to break it down, on one of my most recent product launches, I spent $2,700 on cost of goods and shipping. I spent $100 on samples, so $2,800. I spent $200 on a product inspection, so $3,000. I spent $200 on an LLC, so $3,200. I spent, let's call it $500 to get my listing created for me. And there are cheaper versions that you could do this with. So what were we just at? We were at 32 and then 37. So $3,700 for cost of goods, shipping, LLC, which is a one-time payment, product samples, which is a one-time payment, listing, which assuming that you don't create more or do more optimizations to your listing, that's a one-time payment. So really just the inspection, cost of goods, and shipping, which equaled out to $2,900. Yeah, $2,900. I mean, we are not Amazon sellers. We are the product sellers. We should focus on the product. Unless I'm misreading or misinterpreting that, I think it's the opposite. I think we are Amazon sellers and we should not care about the product. Because again, I focus on the platform. What does well on the platform? It doesn't matter what product it is for me. As long as it's ethical, which everything on Amazon has to be ethical, not selling anything like wild on there. I'm game for it. The numbers look good. Sign me up. Where are you from? Born and raised in SoCal. When running ads, do we switch between 7 days and 14-day cycles for optimization? Yes, and also look at month-long optimizations. And then the other thing is make sure that you don't look at the last 48 hours of your data because there could be a delay on some ad attributed sales. Can you make good sales on Amazon without A+ content? You can, but something that you have to consider is like your top competitors have A+ content. So you should try to be competing with your top competitors. I highly recommend it. What about dog products? If the numbers look good, I wouldn't just go launch any dog product like a dog leash or something. But yeah, pet products are cool. I'm from Massachusetts. Let's go. It's one of the few states I have not gone and visited yet. You do one-on-one mentorship. I have one-on-one aspects in my mentorship, like having direct access to me, message me any questions that you have, one-on-one call with me. Do you have an Amazon business? Yes, I do. how much you have monthly sales? 6 figures a month. Why ordering samples inspection can do its job? Do you agree with me? No, I do not. You need to get a product sample to see the quality. With an inspection, you're not seeing the quality. And why would I place? Because inspection is post-order, post-production. I'm not going to go spend $2,700 on cost of goods. Or, well, I guess technically what was the actual cost of goods? It was, I think, $2,100. So I'm not going to go spend $2,100 on cost of goods without ever inspecting the quality of the product. I have gotten so many product samples from suppliers that seemed good over the years, where once I got the sample, I was like, oh no, I would not sell this. I would not sell this quality of product. So you need to get both. Yeah, I usually do monthly and bi-weekly. Monthly, usually harvesting. Monthly harvesting is good for sure, but with monthly, you should also be making some other optimizations, like making sure that your strategy is on point. I'll do bi-weekly sometimes, but sometimes I also even do weekly optimizations. How you find success on TikTok Shop? We found success on TikTok Shop by A, creating content for our products and brand, and B, by reaching out to influencers. I don't like that word. Reaching out to affiliates to market our product and create videos and content for it. How much do I need to start? I'd say minimum 3K USD, 3 to 6K USD. 7 days, I just do light optimizations. Yeah, I agree with that. But some suppliers can send best sample they have later. They can send you production with low. That's where the product inspection comes in, Pina. So it's not like a very often thing. I've had a bad experience with a supplier before, but you need to get product samples. It's a step that it will end up costing you thousands of dollars if you skip. You're trying to save on $100 or whatever the sample cost is, and then it'll end up costing you thousands. So it's not really a common practice for a supplier to give you a certain quality sample and then switch it up on you, especially when you're getting a product inspection done. Can you make $1 million on your first launch? You should focus on making $1 your first launch, Nawaz. And I only say that because I really don't like these questions. Like, yeah, sure, it's possible, but like, why are we focusing on $1 million when we haven't even made 1,000? Oh man, I just love when people who come in can't create content for themselves try to solicit their stuff on my lives. Don't you love that? Anyways. Like usually on the fourth cycle, I'll do monthly as well as include negating, which includes negating as well. Nice. Is it true when you see a product and it says 10K bought in the past month? Yes, that is correct. Amazon is a very large platform, you guys. Showing certain things like that and it not being true is against FTC guidelines. Amazon is too big to mess around with that. I liked Amazon, bro, but they banned me on some BS Section 3. Honestly, bro, I feel for you, but I bet if we dove into the real reason why you got hit with a Section 3, it wasn't on some BS. And Amazon doesn't just ban people for no reason. Maybe you used invoices that weren't from an official wholesaler or distributor. Maybe you did something wrong on your account. Like, they're not just hitting people with a Section 3. And that's also mainly with arbitrage and wholesale. What's up, Luke? What up, Slimmy? What's up, my boy? What up, Sheep? What optimizations do you focus on? For my product itself, improving the title, getting more reviews, improving the main image, improving my infographics or secondary images, improving my A+ content, improving, putting a video on my listing. On ads, I'm focusing on bid optimizations, harvesting good performing keywords, negating not good performing keywords, budget allocation, shifting budget to my winners, and focusing on creating rank campaigns, and then essentially expanding on my PPC ad strategy. This is a little more complex for us to just go over on the live, but something called the Amazon path to purchase. Like, think about your behavior, your customer behavior when you're shopping on Amazon. It's not always like, oh, I'm going to go search a keyword, first product that I see that I'm buying. You're probably clicking around different places. So that's called the Amazon path to purchase, and essentially protecting the path to purchase so that your ad and product is always in the eyes of the customer. You out on the West Coast? Yes, sir. Born and raised in Southern California. Wow, good answer for the question of $1 million. Thank you, Pina. Yeah, I really don't love those questions. This kind of is a full circle to like the whole mental master, not going to say the rest of the word, where people like are sitting there learning and they think that like they need this like magic answer, like, oh, I'm going to make $1 billion with my very first product. It's like, just start. All of these like that question is, and I don't, and Nawaz is always in the live, and I'm not trying to pick on that comment or anything like that, but like those questions are a waste of time. They really are. Just, if you want to do the business, start the business. If you want to not start the business, don't start the business. It really just boils down to those two things. When it comes to negating, would you negate when it has upwards of 20 clicks? Yes, but I'm a little bit hesitant if it's a main keyword or one that's super relevant to my product. I don't go crazy on negating because most of the time it's like conversion issues. Hi, bro. How you doing? I'm doing good. Feeling blessed. So wholesale is the long game? No, wholesale is one of the, sorry, Alex, I know you love wholesale, but I think wholesale is one of the worst business models. Sample by sea or air? Sample by air always. Main shipment by sea. No clothing, no electronics, no seasonal, no patented, no food. What else? No topicals, and no shoes. Bro, when you enter a new market and you find a variation on Alibaba that nobody is selling on Amazon, how would you get to know if the variation could be very good? Would you, example, use PickFu? Yeah, I think PickFu is good. Do you use Pinterest for free conversion? No, we don't really have a Pinterest strategy. Not really. We don't have a Pinterest strategy. Sales went down because I lowered my bids on my phrase campaign. I upped the bids and it's been decent after. Nice, Slimmy. Message me on how it's going. Alex, thank you for sharing the live. PPC sales down, but organic sales picked up. What's this mean? It's always a conversion issue, or maybe you just had an off day. I don't know how long sales have been down, but it all roads lead back to conversion. And keep in mind that we're approaching like a holiday weekend, so traffic may be a little bit slower. Maybe people are spending time with like the fam and stuff like that. So maybe they're clicking on your ads. Maybe they're even adding it to their cart, but not converting on it yet. Is the name of your LLC important? Should be strategic or not really? Not really. You could even have an LLC with a bogus name and then create a DBA doing business as. So you like private label? Yeah, I like private label, but that's not like That's not a subjective opinion. That's a objective opinion. I base things on facts, not feelings. So it's not like I like private label, so that's the better business model. No, higher profit margins on average than wholesale. I have IP that I own. I can go on to exit that business one day. I own the listing. No other sellers are selling on my listing. I can optimize my listing to increase conversion. When you increase conversion, you get more sales on Amazon. I can optimize the organic rank, I can optimize my organic rank by pushing for conversion and getting more sales, which would put me higher on the page. Don't get hit with all the nonsense, Section 3s and all of that stuff. I also sell products that are in demand. That's the whole pitch of wholesale and arbitrage sellers. We sell brand name products that already exist. I made this point on my live yesterday. Everybody in here who shops on Amazon, when you're shopping on Amazon, are you searching for a product mostly, or are you searching for a brand? Not saying that you never search for a brand, but are you sitting there looking up a specific brand water bottle? Are you sitting there looking up a specific shelf? Are you sitting there looking up specific studio lights? Or are you searching something like water bottle or studio lights or something like that? So I'm selling products that are in demand. And I'm also able to run Amazon PPC, which, going back to the profit margin thing, even with running ads, I still have a higher profit margin than 99% of wholesale sellers. And when I expand on my ad strategy, assuming my conversion is good, I can get more sales. So it's not that I like private label, although I do. It's that private label genuinely is the best business model on Amazon. And I've made this offer before. Everybody in this live right now, you're going to see people who talk about wholesale and arbitrage being the best business model. Tell them Luke Basha wants to debate them. We'll do it live. I'll have it recorded on YT. I've made this offer 1,000 times. Nobody has taken me up on the offer. Why? Because nobody wants to get challenged on their ideas. Come challenge me. I love it. I'm not saying that I'm right about everything, but I'm more than welcome people challenging my ideas of business. And I'd love to debate it. Nice, friendly debate. Those people, because I've literally gone into some of their lives and said, hey, debate me on this. We'll do it on live. Everybody ducks me. If your product is smaller than most, would you deliver by air? No, always sea. Are gated products a roadblock? For private label, most products aren't gated. That's another roadblock for wholesale and arbitrage. The only products that are gated, most of the products that are gated on Amazon, I wouldn't sell. Some electronic products, some like topicals, consumables, and then the ones that I would sell, toys and baby products, you get those approval tests from your manufacturer. It's probably one of the most straightforward things. And when you use Pigfo, how many votes would you say you need? Like have 50 people or 500? I think you can start with a small sample size. I don't think the number so much, Matt. I mean, obviously the larger sample size you have, the more data you have. But I would say that just the winning one, like hey, would you buy this product or would you buy this product? And if it's significantly more for the other product, that's the one that I would go with. It cut out at that moment. You said sample by air. Yes, sample always by air, Danny. Now, y'all, we've been given an hour of straight value on this live. So this is my one part where I do this. Y'all have heard me a little bit talk about the AMZ Masterclass. Mac, thank you so much for the follow. The Harvard of Amazon FBA private label education. That is over here, TikTok bio. Y'all can go watch this video. Y'all can see everything that's included in the program. You can see some student results right here. But for those who are interested in having direct access to me, being able to message me anytime they have a question, having access to all the tools and resources that I created for students, you would click yes, I want to apply. You would go through this very quick questionnaire, actually answer these correctly, because you're going to get on a call after this. If you qualify, you're going to get on a call with my onboarding coach, and my onboarding coach is going to help create a unique plan for your unique situation, answer any questions that you have about the program. Omed, thank you so much for the follow. hide this part because I'm not going to dox my phone number and email. And if you qualify for the mentorship, you will be brought to this page right here, where you're going to be able to select a date and time and hop on a call with my onboarding coach, Adam. Adam speaks for me. Adam is an absolute all-star. Everybody who's ever spoke with Adam thinks that he's an absolute gem. He's an AMZ Masterclass student himself, and he actively sells on Amazon. And now he just comes and helps out with the onboarding for the mentorship. Hands are itching for this product, even though I still need to make this first one work. Yeah, get that first one dialed in, sheep. But on that note, everyone, y'all make sure to go show some love to my last few videos and go check out the AMZ Masterclass if you wanted to have me as your mentor along your entire Amazon journey, lifetime access. I will see you all soon. I hope you have a blessed rest of your week, and God bless.